Hello everyone and welcome to another lesson. I'm extremely happy to have you here with me today. Today we're going to go over date and time in n8n. We're going to make it simple so everybody understands how to easily go through that and use the main functions that could help you with your automations. But before I start, I want to point your attention that all of the workflows that I do in these lessons and other workflows, you can find them here in this 15 plus n8n automations. You can use those, you can download them, you can resell them, you can use them in your workflows. As I also have this course for beginners. If you're switching from Make, this would be great. If you're starting out or if you need a refresher, this is a great course for you to have. Okay, without further ado, let's go ahead and start with this workflow. Create workflow on the top right. All right, so let's go ahead and start with a manual trigger. This means that with this one, it only gets activated with the test button. It cannot get activated with this toggle here. Okay, so with that done, let's go ahead and start by adding a new variable. We'll use the edit fields, which is a great note. We start with a variable here. Let's name it date. Okay, so in here we will start working. So in n8n there's a way to get the current date and time. Just like in Make, if you're coming from Make or if you know Make, there's this now tag that you could use. In n8n there's that as well. So I'll switch to expression. Now I'll put double quotes and then I will see this now thing is in the second row. So a date time representing the current moment. Okay, it will take the workflow time zone. So this is very important because if we go here and we go to let me save this first. And then if we go to settings, here you will see this is the date and time. And this is the date and time that this workflow will trigger on, will work on, and will also, this will be based on that, okay? So if we say now, it will tell us, okay, well, if you want now, this is the date and time, okay, based on the time zone that I've chosen before. So this is a very long string of text, which is date and time. But what if we want to have a version of this that we could actually use, okay? To do that, we will access the properties of this date and time using the dot. Once we click dot, we will see now all of the things that we can do to this date and time, okay? And one of the most important ones, I will cover the top three because this is the most important ones. So format, if I click format, this tells me, okay, with the format you can change how it's presented. Okay, let's try that. Let's try date and then month and then year, okay? So let's start day, month, and then year. We need to put it in quotes, I think. There you go. So date, month, and year. This formats the whole string that we saw before in a much readable way. Now we can do it differently. You can add this, you can add a dash, you can add a dot, you can do whatever you want, okay? You can add a year with the 2 digits as well. So you can format the date however you would like. Now let's try saying HH, like for hours, and then MM for minutes. Then it gives us the time, okay? If we do SS it doesn't work. Let's see if it does give us. Okay, so it gives us the hours and the minutes. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, this is how you would format your there's also this guide if you want to go if you want to delve deep inside this. There you go. So this is the guide here. There's minutes, there's hours, right? If you want it based on the 24 hours, or if you want it on the 12 hours, let's try this 24 with double H. Yeah, this is the based on the 24. If we did this, okay, and then what we have. Let's see. Yeah, we can do the seconds, the milliseconds as well. We can do whatever we want. Okay, so this is with the format. You can format whatever. If you only want the time, you can only have the time as well. So this is very powerful in order to transform your time and date in whatever format you want. But be careful, because now as you format, this is now a string. Okay, so be careful that you're dealing with a string. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and investigate the minus. Okay, if we do the minus, it takes it takes the number, and then what do you want to minus? So let's remove 3 and let's go for days. So if we remove 3, then we are at 23. Okay, so let's say if we want to format first, okay, so now we formatted. So once we format this, now it turns into a string, as I said before. So let's try to say minus first. Okay, so now that we first did the minus, right? First we did the minus and then we did the format, because once we do the minus, it's still in the date way, but if we did the format, it immediately turns it to a string, and then we can no longer use the dot minus and the settings of the date, okay, or the options of the date. So first we do the minus and then we do them. Now let's say if we want to say months, there you go. Now we reduced the month by 3, and so on and so forth. Okay, and there's also something called plus. So plus does exactly the opposite of what we just went through with the minus. So plus adds. So always remember that if you want to add, you start with how many you want to add, and then you would specify what you want to add. You want to add days, you want to add months, you want to add years. You can do whatever you want, and then after that you do the format. So remember, always remember that once you use the format, it immediately turns it into a string. And if it is a string, you can no longer use all of these properties of the date. Okay, so keep your format at the end if you want to adjust on the actual how the date looks like. Okay, and yeah, keep it at the end, so at the end you can turn it into a string. So this is basically in a nutshell how you can use the most. These three are the most ones that I use: the format, the minus, and the plus. Of course, there are others, you can investigate them, but these are the most important ones to use. I just wanted you guys to know more about them and you start incorporating them, because I use them a lot in my automations. All right, now that we went through how to use the function and all the properties of some of the properties of the now for the date, there is also a node called date. Yes, so there is this node called date. Now all of these, whatever you choose, you're gonna end up with the same node. Okay, so let's choose the format date. Now this format date works exactly as I showed you before in the format option. So here we can input the date, so we'll put now, and then I can just choose whatever format I want from these, and I can choose my custom format here as well. Let's choose, for example, this one, and if we test, we'll have this format. Okay, now you can choose this formatted date. You can change the name of that, so that is my date. Okay, now this is format. You can extract part of the date. So if you only want the day, for example, you can test, and then it will just give you the day. And if you want the hour, the second, whatever you want, the year as well, it would extract the date, the year from that. Okay, so get current date is basically the now that this is it tells you that it's using this. So there's you can get time between, so you start date and end date and how many days you want to get. So this is interesting. You can round, so if we say round, you can round based on month. So if we choose now, and if we round to month, round down, so it will be the first exactly. If we round up, then it would be the first of the next month. And you can also subtract. So the add and subtract are the same. You can see, okay, I want to add, for example, I want to add days. How many days? I want to add 4 days, and then you test, and then it adds 4 days. So this is a node by itself for the time and for the date and time that you can use and incorporate also in your workflow. If you feel like it's much easier to use this, you can use this as well. Okay, so that's it for today's lesson. If you did like this video, give it a like. Subscribe below for more videos, and don't forget to check out the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.